Okay, so this video is about the central brain complex, which is what I will be teaching about this Sunday. And I'm going to describe the central brain complex in this video and different ways of working with the central brain complex. And hopefully I'm going to help you to remove a global block in that area. Before I go any further, I would like to mention that if you go to my YouTube channel, there are just loads of videos, free tutorials, free guided meditations on all sorts of aspects. They're all with holographic breathing, but they work with shamanism, different tantra, inner tantra, kundalini, channeling, small orbit breathing, breath holds, working with sacred sites, all of the different ways you can work. They all have meditations. They're a fantastic resource. So that is there on my YouTube channel. It is there on my website. If you go to my website, you can come to the free webinars as well. All right, so we're going to carry on. I'm just going to talk about this, the central brain complex, which is in the center of the brain. The spinal cord rises up into the center of the brain, and then from the pons comes back to the cerebellum, and from the brain and from the midbrain it rises up into the cerebrum up here, and you've got that midbrain there with the thalamus on top. Let me just show you a picture of the midbrain. There we have this is it. See, this is that. You've got, this is the central brain complex. It's the thalamus, it's the brain stem, and it's the ventricles around and it through that whole area. So that is the central brain complex. And the kind of global divide that I would like to remove from that, or if you want, you think of the names of that area now. From the base of that to the thalamus, it's called the brain stem. And think about the quality, called the reptilian brain. It has this kind of reptilian, dinosaur, ancient, not connected to the higher self, very physical, just nature, archetypal nature, kill and eat type thing, or survival, something like that. But it's kind of a low quality. That's the below the thalamus. Then if you think about the thalamus, it's this bright, that's the third eye, bright light. And then you think about the ventricles, for people who know what they are. These are just full of cranial seed. They're around the thalamus, they're through the thalamus and down through the whole central brain complex. If you think of the brain stem as separate, you just get stuck in this ancient low energy. But if you think of the brain stem and thalamus as one thing rather than divided, that removes that divide. It's no longer divided. Then the higher energies are traveling down through the whole central brain complex. The lower energies are rising through the whole central brain complex. And the ventricles are cranial sea is just water, really. It's 99% water. It's like the cooling system and for producing nutriments and detoxification for that whole area. So rather than this image, oh, this dark, deep brain state, if you have it as the central brain complex and it's part of that, and rather than you having the brain stem, you've got the pons there. You've got the hypothalamus, you've got the thalamus, you've got the medulla oblongata, you've got the midbrain, all as part of this complex. But you call it the brainstem, you just go into this particular place, and people think of that's a whole thing. No, that is not a whole thing. That is a divided thing. But that is a name and an image that is global. So I would like to remove that image. If you want to keep it, great, you have it. If you want to image it in a new way, here's a suggestion. You can look at the anatomy and find other suggestions for yourself. But my image and experience of that central orgasmic, because it's connected to the higher self through the whole body, everything goes through that area, everything, the whole cerebrum, the whole cerebellum, it all comes together in the central brain complex, all comes down the spine, all comes out through the vagus nerve, everything goes through that complex and spreads out through the body, and all the information comes back through the central brain complex and out through the cerebrum and cerebellum. So it's that central communication hub. To call it the brainstem is a travesty. And you can carry on if you want. If you want to call it the brainstem, great, you do that. If you want to call it the central brain complex, fantastic. If you want to make your own name up, fantastic. But all I'm saying is that name puts people in a divided level of consciousness, according to me. And if you want to start evolving, so the bottom of the central brain complex connecting with the top of the central brain complex, and the top central brain complex connecting to the bottom of the brain complex, you will start evolving. Your energies, your kundalini will start running, because that's what it is, the base of the central complex relating to the lower energies in your pelvis and your sexual potency. And when that rises up through the central brain complex, it's rising up through your whole body. The thalamus is like the head. The top of the thalamus is where it's connecting to the heavens. So that central brain complex is an image of us. The brainstem is from the neck down, the thalamus is from the neck up. I would rather be called a whole person. I don't want to be called just a body from here down. Wouldn't that be ridiculous if people just referred to this part as one bit and that part as another bit and never joined them together? How stupid. How would you feel about that? And it relates to a global level of consciousness where people's energy is kind of coming up to here, and it's not moving through so strongly through the neck, the face, the brain, and connecting to the higher self. And the other way, for it to move up through here, you're starting to move into channeling, connecting to God, the Creator, whatever you want to call that, the divine realms. And energy coming down, you're allowing those energies to land in yourself, and you cannot be the same person as that evolution starts. And we're going to have to evolve to move into the new age. We're not, the new age isn't this place we're going to go to and stay the same. That's not how it works. We change, we evolve. Enough people evolve. That's the new age. And it aligns with all the universal energies. There's some effort and work involved in that transition, and this is part of it. The connection through here and through here. The connection between the bottom of the central brain complex, the top of the central brain complex. Connection to its cooling system and channeling system. Cranial C is water, is 99% water, glucose, oxygen and salt. It's like C with glucose in it. The brain cells are like seaweed. The whole brain, 90% water. It's very slushy. And all the cells are joined by long tentacles, so they're moving around in this sea. So it's an aqueous solution with these spaces full of cranial sea, and those spaces are called ventricles. Wraps around the central brain complex, provides nutriments, oxygen, salt, glucose for the central brain complex, provides a way for the central brain complex to eliminate toxins and carbon dioxide. Cranial C gives you a very different image to cranial fluid. That's another divided thing. You call it all the cranial C. There's videos on that. You can see video, free tutorials, guided meditations, how to meditate, the anatomy of the cranial sea. Another global block, the blood-brain barrier. Now there's a global block for you. What's your image of the blood-brain barrier? Does that divide you? Do you know what it is? Do you know how it works? Or is it just an image that my brain's divided from the rest of me? How does that make it possible for your brain to eliminate with that big blood-brain barrier there? Videos on that giving a completely different image of, it's not a barrier, it's a elaborate, incredible filter that detoxes the brain and produces cranial fluid to nurture and also detoxify the brain, and gives the means for the toxins and carbon dioxide to leave. Very different to blood-brain barrier. Can you see how these names that are given to you globally, that you know really what they are? Most people don't know what they are. How they stuff up your ability to evolve, how they divide you. Now, I'm not saying they're put there on purpose, but maybe they're put there by people who are living at a certain level of consciousness, and they change it to the magnificent filter, water filter, or the wellhead, or the central brain complex. Suddenly there's a new image. Images are so important, how we imagine ourselves. And if you cranial C, if you look into these and have these images, you don't need much anatomy. I've made it really, really easy for you. Those videos, just go on my channel, Cranial Videos. Go there now, play those videos, you will have a different image. Come to my webinar this Sunday, you will have a different image, you will have an amazing experience. The links are below, in the description below. I'm going to show you some pictures just to show you the central brain complex. So there it is. I painted these myself because they don't show it like this. This behind it is the cerebellum. You've got the lateral ventricles around the thalamus, the third ventricle in the thalamus, and the whole body. And what we'll be doing on Sunday is we'll be looking at how all of the different systems relate to the central brain complex, how the deep earth energies relate to it, how the fire energies relate to it. Is it more the hypothalamus, the heart of the central brain complex as well, the heart and the hypothalamus area, how what I call the yellow energies relate to it. This is the third eye. This is where the two halves of the thalamus, where they're joined in the middle, you get this, I'm sure you've seen it, this image of that third eye where it connects together in the middle. This is the yellow energies and connective tissue and how they connect through the body, and they all have a kundalini to them, all these different energy systems. The yellow energy circuits is in the pelvis, this is the clitoris and erectile tissue for the man of the penis, and this rises up as an energy, as a kundalini, and opens this circuit, and all of the circuits have a kundalini, they have a connection to the higher self, they have a connection to the earth, and we'll be looking at how all of those circuits open up through the central brain complex. You will be a different person afterwards. You'll have a recording, you can always go back to, you'll never be in that global block again, because you'll have a completely different experience of that whole area. And then how the lung energies relate to that, and it is a bit like the lungs and also the cranial sea within it. The blue energies, the kidneys, adrenals, bladder, penis, vagina, urethra, specific circle, that is the membranes around the ventricles and the quality. I wonder if I've got it. I wonder if I've got it. I don't know if I'll put it in here to show you. Oh, there we go. See, I'll put it, see at the top, the small ventricles without the thalamus, and just this is around the thalamus, that's the middle of the thalamus, that's down through the lower central brain complex, and we come down, can you see how that mirrors the, there we go, sideways, someone lying down sideways looking at you. that is that. The blue energy circuit, and then the higher energies, the brain, it's the thalamus, again it's the cranial fluid. We'll be looking, breathing, working with the energy points, opening up, blowing my brains out just thinking about it, opening up that whole central brain complex. And as all of those energies, I'm just having to have my eyes closed, because when I feel those different energies, and when they join together, they make this potent connection into the higher self. It comes down, channeling through the whole body. So if you want to open up this central column in yourself, there's a strong kundalini from this circuit. Another block, when people think of the rectum, dirty, dark organ, messy, energetically, has an incredible kundalini to it that rises up through this, through the whole central brain complex. The energies from the central brain complex drop down through it. Then we have the journey between the two. You've got, I'll turn it sideways. See how it look like walking sticks? You've got the central brain complex dropping down through the spine, and at the bottom you'll have the sacrum, the spinal base, and the rectum, and that energy goes up and down between them. The ventricles on their own. Don't want that one. Seen that one. Front ways. You've got the, here you've got the corpus callosum. that joins the two halves of the brain, and then that goes over the top there. This joins in the middle, and it's this bit here, and this dot in the middle becomes the you can't see it on this, but there's a dot in the middle, and that becomes this picture of the third eye, and that is the two halves. See, this can just separate, it's two halves, and it comes together here, but this and this very central point is to do with what I call the yellow energy. It's the connective tissue, the third eye, that connects the thalamus and around the thalamus and the whole cerebrum together in the middle. That, forgotten the name of it, corpus callosum. People think it's just connective tissue. That's not. That's all that is millions or billions of nerve fibers, myelinated nerve fibers, and all of the different energies flowing back between two halves of the brain. All right, be there or be square. Like this video, whether you like, I mean, in no way you're going to have listened to this long and haven't liked it, unless you're really something. So if you've listened this long, hit the like button, press the like button, will cost you nothing. Subscribe to my channel, then you'll be able to see all my videos. Go to all of the video tutorials on my channel. I'm ordering you around like mad because I want you to do them. Obviously, if you don't want to do them, don't do them. But it's there, free, as a service. Do that stuff, listen to more of my videos. I want to build this YouTube channel, become famous, or get holographic breathing famous, which is what I'm teaching here. Holographic breathing, remember that name, do holographic breathing, tell everyone about holographic breathing. We're going to be famous. This is going to be a global breathwork system that is going to aid everyone, and everyone can learn it free of charge. You know, if you want to go to the advanced webinars where we really go in much more depth, then you can, but there's a huge amount of free material there. I've been giving this away for years. Partake. All right, that's it. We're done. We're over. I'll see you again soon. Bye.